Hi guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the new Maybelline products. I received them a couple days ago and I've been using them. I am so excited to share them with you guys because honestly, I think that they are so good. There is one thing in this line that I haven't tried, and that is their City Mini palette. I believe these are new. I have never seen them in store and they said new. I got all of my stuff on Amazon. I have the new bronzer palette. I have a couple of their little new Fit Me blushes. I have their loose powder, their new Superstay matte ink, and then I have a couple of their Vivid Hot lacquers. So the Fit Me powder that I have is in 05 Fair. This color in particular is going to be for those who are quite fair. I'm using my damp Real Technique sponge and I'm just going to stamp that on my forehead to set that. And I have used this powder and I honestly really like it. It is supposed to help control shine and also smooth the skin a little bit. I was kind of concerned about this powder just because it isn't translucent, but when I used it yesterday, it worked just fine. Okay, there's some weird stuff happening on my forehead. I don't know if my sponge was maybe too wet. We're just gonna ignore that. But anyway, so when I've used this, I do think that it smoothed out my skin. I did notice that throughout the day as my oils started to come through that I did start to look a little bit heavy, but still I thought my skin looked really nice. And I do think that it helped to control my oil a little bit because I didn't get oily for quite a few hours after applying this. This feels slightly heavy when you first apply it, and that will depend on how much you apply. I did apply a pretty hefty amount just then. I don't know why I was going so crazy, but overall, I think the loose powder is great. Like I said, really did smooth my skin out. It's not as smoothing some of my other like Holy Grail smoothing loose powders, but for the price, I do think that this is a really great product. You just are gonna have to be careful about the shades. I got this for $5.99 on Amazon. There are 8 colors. You get 0.7 ounces in here. For reference, I have like my Ilia loose powder. This is 0.32 ounces or 9 grams, whereas this is 20 grams. And my Ilia one is like $38, which I love that powder. I still think that's worth the money, but you get a lot of product in here, and for $6, that's really great. 05 is the lightest shade, and then they have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 is the darkest shade. I don't know if that's gonna be dark enough for very deep skin tones. That's the only drawback are the shades in this, because the shade does translate on the skin. So if you can't find your shade, then obviously you won't be able to use this. But if you can, I do think it's a good powder. I think we'll go into the eyeshadow palette now. This is in the shade Chill Brunch Neutrals. This was $7.99, and I will say that this palette is much smaller than what I was expecting. Like you can see, it's like the size of my hand. And I did swatch these. They feel soft, but they kick up quite a bit of powder, especially the shimmers. I think that's just because they're really soft. There are 5 different colors ranging from like a smoky palette to like a warmer palette to this. This is just the one that appealed to me the most. I'm not going to do a crazy eye look today. I have to go to work. I'm actually in a little bit of a rush, but I really wanted to film this. So I'm going to go in with this lightest shade right here, and I'm just going to put that on my entire eyelid. Like you can see the brush strokes when I go into this. It is so powdery. You don't get a mirror with this, which is a drawback. That is really nice and pigmented. I usually don't like these really light shades. They just apply really chalky, and I think this one is applying really nice and smoothly. Now we're gonna go into this little mauve shade right here, and I'm just gonna stick that in my crease. And once again, pretty powdery. Let's hope we don't get a bunch of fallout. Oh my gosh, this is applying really nicely. Look at how that is blending. Okay, this is really nice and pigmented. Holy crap, that bit is going a long way. I'm gonna have to blend the crap out of that. Careful how much product you pick up because this is extremely pigmented. Wow, I'm impressed right now. I'm gonna just take another brush that doesn't have any product on it so I can blend that top edge out because it got a little messy up there. Okay, this is blending so nicely. I'm really happy about this because honestly their other eyeshadow palettes are not good. I don't want to do a crazy look, but I kind of am curious about this dark purple. I'm going to touch the littlest bit. Oh wow, okay, that's a lot. Okay, this deeper purple in here seems like it is going on a little more sheer, but I'm honestly using one little tap in and then I'm knocking off the excess. I don't seem to be getting any fallout right now, so I think if you tap off the excess that you'll be fine. I'm not super impressed with this purple shade right now. It's not quite as pigmented as that other shade that I put in my crease. The next shade I'm going to go into is this gold, pretty gold shade. It's kind of champagne-y gold. And I'm going to try to use a flat shader brush first without any setting spray and see how that applies. I have trouble finding shimmer shades or like metallic shades that apply better with a brush than with my finger. Okay, so that looks decent. It's not super intense and metallic. I'm gonna try to spray my brush and see if we can get that to be a little more intense. Even though I'm like, I don't want an intense eye look. I just want to see if I can make this look more metallic. Okay, that definitely helped. So that's pretty. I don't think it's like super amazing. There is so much kick up with that one. But, you know, you can make it work. I feel like I can make this work more than a lot of my drugstore palettes. I just wish that there was like a lighter shade that I could maybe put on my inner corner. But overall, I think that's okay. These other two shades look like they're just pure sparkle, and it looks like it's an overspray. But I could be wrong, because when I swatched it, it looked like an overspray. But now that I'm looking at it, it looks like some of that sparkle is still there. I can use that in another video if you're still curious about it. Right now, I guess it's pretty decent. It's on sale for $7.59 on Amazon, and that's a pretty good price. Now we're gonna go in with the bronzer palette, and I really like this bronzer palette. I think that these shades are pretty sheer, but they are extremely buildable, which I really, really like. I don't like things to be super intense. Even if they're very blendable, it just scares the crap out of me because I feel like I'm just gonna go overboard and look crazy. This retails for $9.99, and it has 3 bronzer shades and then 1 highlight. I really thought the highlight shade was gonna be too dark on my skin tone, but it actually works really well. It, once again, is also very sheer, but it is very buildable, and I thought it was so stunning. Like, for a drugstore highlight, it actually didn't go on chalky or dry. Like, it looked like my skin was wet, and if you've been watching my videos, you know that's the kind of highlight that I like. So I am really, really excited about this palette, and I have their blush palette, which has 3 blushes and a highlighter as well, and I really like that. What I did was I just went in with all 3 of these shades, and they're not very powdery at all. Like, they're actually not powdery. They're not kicking any powder up, so that's really nice compared to their eyeshadow palette. I don't think this palette is gonna work very well for deeper skin tones. I just watched a video that I'll link down below of a girl with kind of like medium skin tone, and she was able to build these bronzers up to work for her skin tone. So I think if you have light to medium skin, this is gonna be a great palette, but if you have deeper skin, this isn't gonna work. The highlight may look very beautiful on you, but I don't know if it's worth buying the palette just for the highlight that's in it. They did come out with a separate highlighter that I decided not to get just because it looked very gold in the swatches. But the girl that I just mentioned, she bought that highlighter and she used it in the video, and she has medium skin and it looked absolutely stunning. So if you're interested in how that looks and applies to the skin, then definitely check that out. So I'm gonna go on with this highlight, and you're gonna see on camera that this goes on pretty sheer. This kicks up a little bit of powder, but not nearly as bad as like a lot of other drugstore highlights that I've tried. When I first applied this, I was like, oh, I don't like the way that looks. But this product really does just end up melting into your skin, and it looks so stunning in person. It does not look like a stripe on your face, and I love that about it. This can really give you that really stunning, intense glow. This is a definite hit, totally recommend it. So I have 2 of their blushes. One of them is the shade 10 and then the shade 45. I used this blush yesterday, and it's really beautiful. They're quite pigmented, so you want to go in with a light hand. They're not extremely powdery, which I like, but this translates to be, the shade 10, translates to be kind of like apricot-y on the skin, which I didn't know I liked, but I really did. And then we're going to use this one today because I haven't tried it yet. This is the shade 45. This blush in particular yesterday lasted all day long, and I mean all freaking day long. I had it on over 12 hours and I could still see it on my skin, which is pretty impressive. So we'll go in with this shade. This is just a nice like purpley mauve shade. This actually seems like it's a little less pigmented than the one I used yesterday, but it may be the brush that I'm using too, because the brush I used yesterday was a little more dense than this one. I love these blushes. These I got for $4.99 a piece. The pan is pretty small. You get 4.5 grams. Let's go ahead and apply one of these lip glosses. Okay, before we do that, I am going to tell you that these matte ink lipsticks are so good. Which one did I wear yesterday? I wore the shade 10 Dreamer yesterday. This lasted all day long. I ate pizza for lunch yesterday, and this seriously lasted through the pizza. Like, it was wearing off a little bit on the inside of my lip. One thing to keep in mind about these is they are very like thick, almost kind of like sticky when you first apply them. They take a little bit to dry down, and they do feel kind of sticky throughout the rest of the day, but they aren't like so uncomfortably sticky, and they last so long and they don't settle on the lines in your lips. So for that reason, I love this. I love this formula. I think for a drugstore liquid lipstick, this is awesome. And it's just a really different formula than I have ever used. I did order another shade, but it's not here yet and I didn't want to wait for it to come. So this is the shade Dreamer, and then this darker shade is the shade 15 Lover. So I got these two, and then the other shade that I got is, I think, is more of like a nude, and those are just the colors that appeal to me the most. And girl, we're not talking about my patchy self-tan fading shit going on. Not cute. All right, so now we're gonna go in with the lip lacquers. I got 4 of the shades. Of course, I got all the nude, like mauvey shades. I got the shade 60 Tease, the shade 62 Charmer, 64 Unreal, and the shade 66 Too Cool. I will swatch them all on my hand for you, but today I think I'm just gonna wear, I wanna try the shade 60 Tease because it looks really, really light. So hopefully it's gonna work. And the applicator on these is the same as the applicator on the matte ink lipsticks. It's like wide and round on one side and then flat the other way. I like the applicator. I think it holds a nice amount of product. You don't have to dip in a second time. And like I said, that's what the lip gloss looks like as well. So let's just apply this and hope that it doesn't look too pale. Oh, look at that pigment. I just recently have started to get into glosses. I did not like glosses before, but I have been topping my liquid lipsticks off with them and I love it. The formula feels so nice and creamy. It's like a thicker gloss, and you saw it's very pigmented. They smell so good. This and the liquid lipstick have a nice cake or like vanilla-y smell. Some people don't like that. I like the smell of it. I noticed with the liquid lipstick or the matte ink that the scent did linger for quite a long time. I think for like an hour I could still smell it, maybe just 30 minutes, I don't know. It didn't bother me though. I like the smell of it. So the Vivid Hot Lacquers that I applied, there are 12 shades of that, and they retail for $6.64. I think I paid $6.99. They're on sale right now. I don't know what's going on, but I swatched all the shades, and this is literally one swipe, you guys. So this is the shade 60, and then we have 62, 64, and then 66. These are so freaking stunning. They feel so comfortable on the lips. If you like a really pigmented gloss that isn't super sticky, you will love these. Like, that is one swipe. So I think that's everything in the collection, you guys. Like I said, I got everything except for that single pan highlighter, and that's the only shade that they have was like that gold shade. Just check out that girl's channel down below if you want to see how that looks and applies on the skin. Overall, I am so impressed with this entire collection. I think that this is going to be a new favorite in the drugstore as far as liquid lipsticks go. The formula is so amazing and long lasting and comfortable. If you can get over that little bit of a sticky finish that it has, then I think that you will like it. This is the only thing that I'm unsure about, just because the darker purple shade was not as pigmented and there is a lot of fallout, but they are very soft, and that's probably why there is so much kick up. I really hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope it answered some of your questions as to what products you are going to buy or not going to buy. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if it was helpful for you, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I have lots of exciting videos to come. I'm planning some giveaways, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for those, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.